Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear.
Thank you.
Sheriff Herndon here.
Can you hear me, Brett?
Yes, sure can.
Okay, thanks.
Just wanted to check to see if you guys can hear me.
Yes, Julie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think that's Jerry.
That's not your iPhone, is it? On both.
There's Jerry. Okay, it looks like all support members are here. We've got Julie is here for planning and zoning. We've got Brock, Ken Jones is here. Ken, can you hear us? I see you're muted. Okay, no problem. I think you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and have Jim start us off with a prayer.
Okay. Father in heaven, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for this another opportunity that we can come and discuss community business, and we pray that you'll give us the wisdom to make the right decisions. Father, we thank you for all the blessings you give us each and every day, and we pray that you will lead this country of this virus and get us back to some sort of normalcy in the near future. And if you'll do that, we appreciate that. And we thank you for all the blessings you give us. And we thank you for your son, Jesus Christ, who died for our sins. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's 7 o'clock on July 20th. And if the clerk will please call the roll.
Squire Brewer.
Oh, there you are.
Here.
Squire Michael.
Present.
Squire Beaverson.
Here.
Judge Riley,
Here.
Squire Travis,
Here.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Here.
all present.
Okay, next order of business is to approve the minutes from prior court meetings. We've got 2 of those to approve.
Motion to approve with corrections. Brett.
Is that both sets of them or just one? Or?
Sure. Yeah, let's do both of them.
All right. That'll
Jim seconds.
Okay. We've got a motion and we've got a second. Are there any corrections? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, next order of business is communications from Judge Executive. I've put in your packets, it's just a reference for a mask guide that was put out. I don't know if that's going to be helpful to you or not. Also, just want to mention that the total patcher in the tank is prepared and ready for pickup. We have already received the payment on that. Glass barriers are now installed in the planning and zoning office, the sheriff's office, the county judge's office, and the county clerk's office. And I also understand the PVA has their glass installed. The county courthouse is now open on the first floor. And I believe both the county clerk and PVA offices are open. I'm not certain on PVA, but I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, the clerk's office, county clerk's office is open. With that, I'm going to move on to communications from citizens. Do we have anybody who'd like to address the court? If not, we're going to move on. Communications and reports from members, other offices, and committee. The first up would be Chris Limp.
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Okay. First, we got to address the COVID-19 pandemic. We are, I'd say we are definitely experiencing a spike in Spencer County. Up to, as of today, 19 active cases. So that number is going to be slightly more as the press releases marked up to the health district anymore. I need to continue to encourage everybody to wear their mask, social distance. The governor put out some new guidelines today on no group gatherings of more than 10 people. That he did exempt private events, like private get-together, and listed 8 states where if you travel to, you're to quarantine 14 days after returning to Kentucky. So I think we're looking at having to keep a close eye on the social distancing, the wearing of masks, and the enforcement of that. That's all the news on the COVID front. Secondly, when we did the employee cases at the special meeting, there was an error on my part, and Josh Darnell, who is a part-time paramedic, we had just had him listed as EMT. So if I could get his salary adjusted to the proper paramedic, I'd appreciate that.
That's 1550.
Yes, sir.
Need a motion to do that.
What's it coming from?
He's a paramedic, and I made an error and had him listed as an EMT. So when the raise was approved, it approved him to an EMT rate instead of the paramedic rate.
I heard you the first time. I just wanted to hear you say you made an error the second time.
I'll admit to it. It's my fault.
What was his rate? What was his rate for the EMT?
1350. He should be at 1550 as a paramedic.
All right, I'll make that motion to raise him to 1550.
Got
And
a-
I'll second it.
Who seconded that?
Brewer.
Okay,
He did work some as at the how should I say, he has worked at that rate that was not correct. So I would also ask, could we give them the $2 difference, make that up from what he worked?
that's back to July 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I would include that in my motion.
Thank you.
And Squire Brewer.
I will second it, yes.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Call the roll, please.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.
What else you got, Chris? Anything?
Not now. We have that quote coming up later. So that's all I got for now.
Okay. All right. Next up is zoning readings and recommendations. Julie, you're up.
Okay, we have a handful of first readings. I will do those first. They do not require a motion. We have the application of Timothy and Tanya Herndon requesting a zone change for Ag 2 agricultural to R1 residential on 1.012 acres known as Tract 4A and 3.774 acres of amended Tract 4 located in the 900 block of Van Buren Road. That comes by motion made by Commissioner Travis to approve the application of Tim and Tanya Herndon for the zoning of the 1.012 acres from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential and the 3.774 acres located in the 900 block of Van Buren Road. The zoning meets the comprehensive plan guidelines. There wasn't anyone there to speak against the application. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Hunt, and that motion carried. That will be in Esquire Beaverson's when we get to it for second reading next meeting. Next, I have the application of Marshela McAllister for Brian Yates requesting Ag 1 to Ag 2 and R1 on 8.01 acres of Tract 1 and 2.79 acres on the residual property located at 5715 Briar Ridge Road. Commissioner Mudd made that motion to approve the application of Marshela McAllister for Brian Yates requesting the Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 8.01 acres and the Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on 2.79 acres located at 5715 Briar Ridge Road. This is in compliance with the comprehensive plan, the recommendation of medium density residential, and no one was there in opposition. That motion was seconded by Commissioner Hunt. Motion carried. That also will be in Esquire Beaverson's. Next, I have the application of David and Linda Koger requesting Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural on 8.22 acres. Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on Tract 5A, which is 0.487 acres, and Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on Lot 6, which is 1.293 acres. Commissioner Fowl made a motion to approve the rezoning request for David and Linda Koger, requesting the Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural, R1 residential, and R3 residential on the 0.487 acres to join in with Tract 5 to form Lot 5A, Lot 6 being 1.293 acres, being changed from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential, and the balance of the remaining tract of 8.22 acres from Ag 1 agricultural to Ag 2 agricultural. This is subject to plat approval as well. There was no one present on the Zoom meeting that had questions or was opposed to the zoning change. It was seconded by Commissioner Travis. Motion carried. And that application will be in Esquire Jerry Moody's district when we do second reading on it. Do we have any questions on those three?
Any questions?
Okay.
Evidently not. Go ahead, Julie.
These are our second readings, which will require a motion. We have the application of Steve and Mary Ann Nutgrass requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 1.406 acres located at 1291 Hardesty Ridge Road. Commissioner Fowl made the motion to recommend to rezone the application of Steve and Mary Ann Nutgrass for zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R3 residential on 1.406 acre tract of land located at 1291 Hardesty Ridge Road. The recommended land use is low density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. This is a transfer from parent to child, and it adjoins other R3 zoned property. To their knowledge, there had not been any opposition. It was seconded by Commissioner Mudd. Motion carried. And that is in Esquire Jerry Moody's district.
Motion to approve recommendation of zoning based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Board.
We've got a motion.
I'll second it.
And we've got a second. Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Riley,
Yes.
for Travis,
Yes.
for Jerry,
Yes.
for Brewer,
Yes.
for Mike Moody,
Yes.
for Beaverson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right.
Okay. The next application is that of Marzetta Hoagland requesting a zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 1.756 acre tract of land located in the 200 block of Lakeview Drive. Commissioner Fowl made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Marzetta Hoagland for zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 1.756 acre tract of land located in the 200 block of Lakeview Drive. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommended low density residential. The change was in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There's a considerable amount of R1 zoned property in the area, and to their knowledge, there was no objections to the application. It was seconded by Commissioner Mudd. Motion carried. This is also in Esquire Jerry Moody's district.
Motion to approve the planning and zoning based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Board.
We've got a motion.
I'll second.
And we've got a second. Squire Beaverson.
Yes.
Okay. And if without any discussion, or if there is any discussion, let me know. But otherwise, go ahead and call the roll, please.
For Travis,
Yes.
for Jerry Moody,
Yes.
for Brewer,
Yes.
for Mike Moody,
Yes.
for Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. We have the application of Shirley A. Thomas requesting a zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to RM residential on a 2.056 acre tract of land located in the 1000 block of Highway to Heaven. Commissioner Mudd made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Shirley A. Thomas for a zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to RM residential on a 2.056 acre tract of land located in the 1000 block of Highway to Heaven. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends high to low density residential, and the change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There are several manufactured homes and site-built homes near this property. Therefore, either style of home would fit in with the character of the area. To the best of their knowledge, there was no opposition on the zoning change. Second by Commissioner Fowl. After some additional discussion, the motion carried. This is in Esquire Beaverson's district.
Have a motion to approve the zone change based on the facts and findings of the Planning and Zoning Board.
Sounds like a good motion to me. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
All right. Without any discussion, just let
I
me
do have one question. The RM, is that modular?
It is residential manufactured,
Okay.
which allows site-built or manufactured homes. And there's a set of guidelines, like minimum size, foundation, porch, deck, landscaping. It has several different things that go along with that zoning.
Right, but
to make it fit.
the RMR means modular. It's okay with modular.
Well, manufactured.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay.
All
I'm
right.
good.
If there's no other questions, call the roll, please.
Squire Brewer, were you the second on that? Thank
I
you.
did, yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay. We have the application of Kathy H. Bryant, Justin and Jessica Lewis requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 1.35 plus or minus acre tract of land located at 200 Roberts Road. Commissioner Fowl made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Kathy Bryant, Justin and Jessica Lewis for zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on the 1.35 plus or minus acre tract of land located at 200 Roberts Road. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends low density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. This is primarily bringing the acreage into compliance with today's standards. To their knowledge, there was no objection or comments to the contrary. Second by Commissioner Mudd. Motion carried. And this one it's in a fine line. It is either Esquire Mike Moody's or Esquire Brewer's. It was kind of hard for me to determine by the map where this one belongs.
I'll make the motion to approve the zoning change based on the facts and findings of the zoning commission.
And I'll second.
There you go.
That worked.
All right. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson, Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
motion carries.
We have the application of Merle Lawson, Kitty Lawson, Nathan and Wanda Lawson requesting zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 1.004 acre tract of land located at 571 Oaks Lane. Commissioner Mudd made a motion to recommend to rezone the application of Merle Lawson, Kitty Lawson, Nathan, and Wanda Lawson for zone change from Ag 1 agricultural to R1 residential on a 1.004 acre tract of land located at 571 Oaks Lane. The recommended land use map in the comprehensive plan recommends medium density residential. The change would be in compliance with the comprehensive plan. There are other R1 residential tracts in the immediate vicinity, and to the best of their knowledge, there was no one objecting to the change. Second by Commissioner Clayton. Motion carried. This is in Esquire Jerry Moody's district.
Motion to approve recommendation of planning and zoning based on the facts and findings of the planning and zoning board.
Got a motion.
Second. Mike Moody.
Okay. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, call the roll.
For Mike Moody,
Yes.
for Beaverson,
Yes.
for Bradley,
Yes.
for Travis,
Yes.
for Jerry Moody,
Yes.
for Brewer,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right.
Okay, that is all of the readings that I have. I would like to report that we have also opened our office where individuals can come in again. We have been working through a window through the whole thing, but we have opened our doors so that customers can come inside at the, now. Also, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to address this, but I sent an email out for you guys in regards to the pay scale that took place on Monday. Our office doesn't feel like that was done fairly. And like I said, I don't know if this is the appropriate time or not.
Yeah, and that's fine, Julie. And Julie and I have talked about this, and we are in the process of assembling some data for you all, and likely we'll come back to you at a later date. I'm not sure if it's going to be the next meeting, but we will be coming back to you to give you that information on, I guess there's several employees that we need to take a hard look at. So Julie's been very helpful. She's in the process of contacting other counties and taking a look at this. So I'll open it up to any other discussion.
Okay, I will state though, through all of that my one office employee has given her letter of resignation. I know she has some vacation she will probably take so she doesn't lose it between now and September 1st. But September 1st is Jan's goal date to leave. So I would like to ask that I get the approval to go on and advertise for another full-time employee. I would like you to also consider, we've been holding off since Curtis left to replace and put another part-time employee back in our office. I have talked to Stephanie over in the administrative licensing office, and if the court would be interested in doing a joint effort for enforcement, I would be willing to do my administrative assistant as a full-time position and do my enforcement officer as part-time, whether it be part-time my office, part-time Stephanie's, or if you're just wanting to split a part-time person between the two, or if you don't like that idea. However, but it's just something that I would like you all to consider. I think the county would only benefit to have somebody out there not only looking for zoning violations and violations of your nuisance ordinance, but also to make sure people have their license.
I'll chime in first here, and then I'll open it up for any other discussion. But I like the idea of someone functioning in the position of, and you're talking about the part-time position doing this in zoning enforcement, but also checking business license and that, and hopefully bringing some people into compliance with that. So I would be very much in favor of that. And I'll open it up for any other comments or questions, concerns. I don't know that we need a motion to authorize you to advertise, but I'll entertain a motion if anybody feels like we do need that. So,
Julie, this is Jim. Is Stephanie willing to go full time?
Now that I'm not sure, I would have to talk to her. What we were talking about was, you know, Vince used to be a part-time enforcement officer in her office, and then we had Jan as a part-time enforcement in my office. So I don't know if you would want to combine enforcement and only do a part-time, or if you would want to go to another full-time position. That's just something we said that now that Stephanie's out of my office, you know, that would make it so that somebody could work off of one desk and make it easier to do a joint effort.
Well, I would think probably we need to look into that a little bit more, and at our next meeting or two, discuss that, you know, what we want to do.
Okay, the only reason I bring that up tonight is, like I said, I would like to advertise for a full-time person to replace Jan. Currently, she is doing both enforcement and being the assistant. So if we were going to consider doing the enforcement as part-time, that would make a difference in the job description for what I put out there for my full-time person. Does that make sense?
Well, I think we need to have a full-time person as your assistant or whatever. So I'll make a motion that we hire a full-time position to replace Jan Kenny.
To advertise for a full-time employee to replace?
Yes.
Again, I'm not sure we need a motion, but if somebody'd like to second that, I'll entertain that.
I don't know that we need a motion either, but I would second that.
We've got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I would like to add that I have been a long time proponent of getting somebody in the planning or in the in Stephanie's office. I think that position would pay for itself and over time. So
I agree.
So if we could, Julie, do you think that would be reasonable to think that a part-time person could function in both capacities as planning and zoning, enforcement, and occupational tax or occupational license enforcement? I mean, they're out in the field.
I think they could. You know, they would be out and about at least I would say maybe 3 days a week, leaving them a day to prepare letters and get those mailed out. And maybe even we could set it up to say that they would be in the office that 5th day. That way, if people want to come in and talk to them face to face, they would have them in the office specifically that day or two. But I think we could make it work. Right.
And I've talked to Stephanie about that also. And, you know, certainly it's important to have somebody that can do the letters and the paperwork. I don't think that's what she had before, but
well, it's important that whoever goes out to the property and sees it and sends the notice is who gets to talk to the individual when they come in, because a lot of times they'll come in if Jan's not there and they're trying to tell me, you know, they got this letter. I may not understand completely because I didn't see the property. So it's hard for me to, you know, tell them what needs to be done when I didn't personally see the property. So I really try to make sure they get to talk to her specifically. And I would want to keep that the same way for a new person.
Okay. So the motion then is to go ahead and advertise to fill those positions, if I'm not mistaken, but. correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the motion, Squire Travis?
Well, again, I would urge Julie to come up with a plan on what, it's her office and she knows what she needs, and have her come up with a plan, whether it be a full-time, part-time, or full-time and part-time, and come back to us maybe at our next meeting and see what kind of plan she comes up with.
Well, I think we've got a good enough plan to authorize her to go ahead and advertise. We're looking at filling a full-time position, basically, correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, as the administrative person for planning and zoning, and a part-time position to function in enforcement for planning and zoning, and then also as occupational tax administration. So,
I can't hear you speaking. Sorry.
Right, something did happen, John, with your microphone. You got real quiet all of a sudden for some reason.
okay, let's try it again. Just saying that I think it's important that we move forward as soon as possible. I wouldn't want to delay trying to go on and get advertisement out and start casting that net and trying to find both a full-time and a part-time person.
Excuse me, Squire Travis's motion was to advertise for a full-time position to replace Jan Keeney. Is that not correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion on that motion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Are there any nays? Hearing none, motion passes. What are we going to do with the part-time position? I agree with Squire Brewer, and I've been an advocate as well. I think there's a lot of people out there, some know what they're doing, others don't know what they're doing, that they don't realize they're supposed to have a county business license. So I think it's important to have somebody out there doing that.
Well, Squire Travis, I agree. I would make a motion that we advertise for a part-time position for that position, and have that also.
We've got a motion.
Second.
We've got a second, Squire Beaverson. We've already discussed it, but if there's any more, please just let me know. Otherwise, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. So,
Judge, I do have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want a clarification on the motion. The motion was to advertise for a part-time, what was
position at the what's Stephanie's office?
Code enforcement?
Yes.
it's actually both offices, as I understand it, for planning and zoning enforcement as well as occupational tax.
That's fine.
Thank you.
All right. Was somebody else needing to be recognized?
Yeah, I did have a question.
Okay.
What happens if we advertise for this position in the planning and zoning full time, and then it does not become vacant?
Well, I mean, that's, I guess, certainly a possibility. I mean, we've already, and it's on the agenda later on in our meeting, we have a resignation in hand. We could do something. I think, again, it gets back to pay rate, and I think I said this during the budget process and even in approving the pay rates, that I'm not entirely happy with all of them, but the main focus was EMS, and then we'll do something with all the other ways. So if the court wants to look at making a pay adjustment for the current employee, we can look at that. I don't know that would change anything, but
just a question.
Yeah. All right. Julie, what else you got?
I think that would be it. I will say, back to the pay rates, we will have to set pay rates for these two positions so that when people are applying, we can give them an idea of what they're looking at.
What is Jan's pay rate right now, you know?
With the
$14.
50 cents increase that she just got, it's $14 an hour with 10
Okay.
years of service.
Okay.
And I think I sent everyone just an informational email about that. And I think, you know, it would be reasonable to that position be somewhere more in line with maybe, you know, 15.50, something like that.
Well, I'd make a motion that if we hire somebody full-time for that position, it would be the same as the 1525 that we did for the administrative assistant, Brittany.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Not for somebody coming in brand new. I think that's where the table comes in.
So are you suggesting, Squire Travis, that we set that at a maximum rate depending on skills and knowledge and so forth?
Well, I think we need to set if we're going to advertise for a position, people are going to want to know how much I'm going to get paid for this position. So whether it be 14 or 15.25, we need to make that decision before we even advertise for that position.
Well, I think we can probably work on a range, not necessarily a specific pay rate, but a range.
That's fine. You guys give us a range.
Well, I'm open to any suggestions, but if you want me to throw something out there, I'd say anywhere from.
Well, I throw out 15.25. That's what we agreed on with Brittany's assistant, and and I think that's why Jan decided to resign, because her pay was not equal to that.
Right.
So,
if we.
Okay, so 15.25 for somebody just coming in off the street with no experience.
Yeah,
No.
I respect what Jim. I respect what Squire Beaverson is saying as well. That's why I'm saying, what about a range from say 14 to maximum 16, depending on skills and ability?
That is exactly the reason why we're in the situation that we are right now. We have put in a pay rate for somebody coming in off the street at a higher rate that we're even paying the person that's been there for 10 years, and we haven't even considered giving her $1.25 hour pay rate.
Exactly.
That's sort of that is a direct slap in the face, as Julie would say.
Exactly.
Well, I'm open for any suggestions or a motion if you want.
This is Jerry. I said everybody talking so much, people need to start thinking. We're in the problem we are right now. I mean, it's ridiculous to take and let a person leave with 10 years of experience and then hire a new employee and pay him more.
Totally agree. If you're gonna put it at 15.25, why wouldn't you offer that to Jan?
Well, I would agree. I mean, we should offer.
Well, why don't we offer that to Jan and since she'll stay?
I'm open to that.
I'm good with that.
Somebody want
Are
to
you going to do that for the rest of your employees, though? I will say that, and I'm not against this at all, believe me, because I appreciate the fact she's got experience, and I don't want to lose her, but at the same time, is that's something else to look at? Is it going to take every employee to turn in a resignation to get a pay increase to be able to be hired back? You need to think of that also.
We have created a monster.
Guys, I think this could just balloon out of control. Every employee could say, "I'm not satisfied with what I got." We need to set a base pay for whatever these positions are, not for the person, but for the position, and stick with it. If we don't, we're going to be dealing with this from now on.
So that pay, you're suggesting that pay rate, and I would agree that, would apply to either Jan if she were to change her mind or to a new employee.
We're not paying the person. We're paying for the position.
Position, yeah.
Or the experience.
That's correct. That's why I think a range may be more appropriate, but I'll leave it up to you all.
Why don't we, Julie, why don't you ask Jan if she would stay at 1525?
I can do that.
Okay, and let us know.
So I think probably we ought to firm that up more than that, perhaps with a,
Maybe.
perhaps with a motion. I mean, if that's, you don't want to do that, that's fine. I mean, we can offer her that, but until it comes back and is passed by you guys, all of us, the 6 of us on fiscal court.
Well, I would make a motion. We offer Jan 1525, and at our next meeting we confirm that.
Okay, your motion is
to offer Jan Keeney 1525 if she will stay.
Sounds like a motion to me. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I'd like to consider that if she should accept that she be able to start right away.
Well, she's
and not have to wait till the next meeting.
Yeah. Well, in fact,
let me redo my motion and say that if Jan accepts this, her pay would be retroactive to July the 1st, as everyone else's did at 1525 if she stays.
You're amending your motion. Who seconded that?
Brett.
Is that reasonable to you? Do you second the amended motion?
Yes. Yes.
All right. And I think that's fair. Okay. Any other discussion?
I just want everybody to be prepared that from now on, for the next few meetings, we will probably be doing this for each and individual employee throughout the county.
I couldn't agree more with you, Squire Brewer. I think that,
well, now that we have some information to start getting these tables put together, that should help.
Yeah.
And I've got some people that are willing to work with me on that.
Okay. Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
No, we're causing a big mess over stupidity.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Mike Moody,
No.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley.
Yes.
So what do we do with the motion to advertise for the full-time position?
Well, we don't believe that. If we don't need it, we don't need it. But we don't have an answer from Jan yet either. So,
So to clarify, if Jan will not agree to stay for 1525, I'm still okay to advertise for a full-time position at 1525 or
Yes.
up to 1525.
Yes.
Does the 1525 hold true for the part-time position as well?
No.
Okay.
That has not been determined yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like your all's input on that position. Of course, that being a part-time position, we don't have the benefits, retirement or health benefits and so forth. So,
Well, this is Jim. I don't think any part-time employee should be making the same amount as a full-time employee.
well, if you look at EMS or part-time,
Well, besides EMS.
yeah, because of the benefits and so forth, it is actually less because of the benefits and
I
retirement.
understand that with EMS, but I'm talking about regular county employees.
Yeah.
Last week on the special meeting, I tried to explain that to y'all, and y'all went right ahead and said, "Oh no, everybody's gonna make this much money, whether full time or not." Now you're contradicting what you were saying last week.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. So we haven't settled what we're going to do on the part-time pay rate.
No.
And I don't know that we need to do that tonight. We just need to try to find the part-timer and we can come
We
back.
just need to advertise for a part-time position and go from there.
Okay. Julie, you okay with that?
Yes.
Yeah. And, believe me, I know that there's other pay rates. I would be happy to work with, obviously, we can work on it all together in a fiscal court meeting, or, if one or two of you want to try to work with me on that and come up with a plan to make any other adjustments that we need to. And I have no doubt there could be more. So.
Well, I will say there will be more. Again, even with myself, I have 23 years of experience, and with my 50-cent pay increase, I finally got to 21 an hour. Our new deputy judge will go in with no experience in that job at 21 an hour. So I've got 23 years under my belt, making the same thing as a new person in that position.
Right.
So I think it does need to be looked at.
You and I have talked about that, and I'm not sure it's entirely accurate to say no experience because he has been training for that position.
The reason I say no experience is, like you all said, we're trying to keep it to the position, not the person,
right?
Because I don't want to bring the person into it.
Right. Okay. Anything else? Julie, I appreciate it, and I think that you can see there's a clear indication of the uptick in activity over planning and zoning and the need to get these positions filled. So
thank you.
Julie. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay, next up is the jailer. I don't see the jailer logged in on the call, but his quarterly report is in your packets. I do need action on the jail contract. Just need your all's approval for me to go ahead and sign that contract with Shelby County.
I make a motion that we approve that contract with Shelby County.
Got a motion?
Second, Brett.
All right. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
How much did it raise?
I think it stayed the same at 31.
Yeah.
It's currently 31.
Yeah.
$31 per prisoner.
Right.
So it stayed the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, call the roll, please.
For Jerry Moody,
Yes.
for Brewer,
Yes.
for Mike Moody,
Yes.
for Everson,
Yes.
for Bradley,
Yes.
for Travis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're going to move on to old business.
Good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Squire Travis.
We didn't, the committee meetings. I just want to say on the solid waste committee, we're going to have a meeting this Thursday at 5:30 at Taylorsville City Hall. We're going to talk with Chris Pierce with Rumpke We're going to get his ideas on a new contract coming up for garbage collection at the end of the year with the county and the city. So if anybody wants to come to that meeting at 5:30 at City Hall on Thursday, this Thursday, the 23rd, please do so. And also, we're getting quotes on putting a 6-foot chain link fence around the recycling center to completely enclose it. I've got 3 bids coming in as of now. I haven't received them yet, so probably by our next meeting we'll have those. So just to keep you updated.
Okay.
And Judge, before we move on, I'd like to say something, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to thank the road department for getting up at the action center, taking care of the leaky queue that we've had up there for a while now. Yeah, looks like they've done a really good job up there.
Did a great job up there. I don't know, Mike Square Moody, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that. It's in your district, but they did a good job with it, and that is now complete. So
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I can't hear what's being said.
okay.
Judge, your microphone's going down again.
Okay, how's that? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, this is Travis. Again, one of the things is, I don't see it on the agenda. In Watkins Glen, Bobby Smith did put gravel around the shoulders of that section back there. And I talked to Todd, and Todd says he's okay with it. So there's a $23,000 some road bond on that road. If we could maybe get Julie to release that, Todd's okay with it, so you can check with him or see whatever, but go ahead and get it released.
I will put that on the next agenda, and I'll have documentation from
Okay.
here and from Todd.
Okay.
All right.
Excuse me, Squire Brewer, who did you thank at the road department and what did they do? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I just said I wanted to thank the road department for getting up to the action center and taking care of the drain leakage problem that we've had up there for quite some time. They've done a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Right. Any other communications from members, other offices, and committees? If not, we're going to move to old business overtime policy. I'm going to turn that over to Squire Brewer.
Thank you, Judge. At this time, I'm going to make a motion that considering everything that's going on, I'm going to rescind my previous motion of not allowing any overtime by any of the employees more than 2 hours. And that does not include, of course, the EMS, the road department, and the animal shelter people that was never included in the first place. So my motion is to rescind my previous motion for overtime for the employees not to exceed two hours.
Travis seconds that motion.
Okay, we've got a motion and we've got a second. Any comments, questions, or concerns? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody,
No.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Judge Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody.
No.
Motion carries.
Okay, next up, under new business, Sheriff's Office. What do we have for the Sheriff's Office?
Hey, Sheriff Herndon, can you hear me?
Yeah, barely.
Okay, I'll be turning this over to Sharon because she's going to be giving you financial reports and stuff. Okay?
All right.
All right. First off, you guys should have in your agendas the 2019 tax summary of what we collected.
I don't think we have that. I don't.
Squire Travis, that was not in the original packet that was sent to you. It was a late addition to the agenda and it came out separately.
Yes, and I tried to pull that down, and I got a spam request said it was a virus, so I couldn't pull it up.
Oh, sorry about that.
I show that we signed for a little over $13 million the start of tax season. We were able to collect 99% of that in our office. And with the yearly report, when I went back and had to show what we paid out to each taxing district, in the end of all that, we were only out 55 cents. So, and that's probably with the rounding and stuff. And the state tells me if I can get it under $5, that's great. So I'm tickled with the 55 cents overall. Everything balanced. Of course, it will have an audit on it as well.
Sharon, what are you reading from? Which statement are you reading from?
This is from the 2019 tax settlement, where we pay out to each taxing district each month.
Thank you.
Also, we have our 2019 county fees budget that we did, and looks like we budgeted for 2019 that we would collect $559,053.83, and looks like our final collection that we turned over to the county throughout the year was $582,281.63. So we turned over $23,227.80 above budget for the 2019 fees that was collected in our office.
Okay.
And if anybody has any questions, feel free to call me, stop by, I'll show you everything. And again, those will be audited by the state again as well.
All right. Sharon, anything else?
That's all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
Any questions?
Not this time.
Maybe a little bit awkward, but again, if you have any questions or want any details, please just get with Sharon and Sheriff Herndon, and I'm sure they'll give you anything you need. So, anything else from the Sheriff's Office?
I don't have anything else. Scott, do you have anything else?
I don't have anything, Judge.
I think you had a pretty successful Friday evening, as I recall.
We did. We had a very successful and a very good cooperating working relationship with several agencies.
Excellent.
I have one question for the sheriff.
Okay.
The house off of Wilsonville Road, what's the status of that right now?
Give me a second. Let me get back over to my desk here. Sharon, run me away. Where we're at right now is David Jewell Auction Company is who has been hired to clean it up and to auction it out. It's all going to be part of the same deal. There is one more piece of paper that Charles Titchener was supposed to get signed today, I think, to give us the full run of going ahead. It's been a long process of getting that done. There were several liens on the property. Got all those cleared up. We've got one lien that we have to pay out of the proceeds of, I think it's around $16,000. That's to an ex-wife. And then, like I've said all along, I felt like Madonna McGuffin and her family should be paid for the storage that they never get paid for, which is around $4,000 some. So once the house gets cleaned up, hopefully we're within a month or so of being able to auction it off. I've actually had a few adjoining landowners call me, want to meet me out there. just to be clarified as to where everybody's boundary is. And we've had it surveyed, it's marked, we've had title searches done. I like seizing property that we get money off of, but I don't know if I want to deal with another house or not. It's been a nightmare. But anyway, getting
yes.
closer all the time, and I think we've had a lot of interest in it, and I think somebody will buy it and make it into a nice home.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right. There's nothing else for the sheriff. We'll move on. And Chris, you're back up.
Excuse me. You'll see in your packet a quote from Zoe Medical Corporation for it's right under $11,000. We received a stimulus grant through American Ambulance Providers Association and Kentucky Ambulance Providers Association back at the start of COVID for just under $12,000. I would like to use that grant money to purchase the items on the Zoe quote.
Chris, is this anything that the CARES Act would pay for?
Maybe so, but this grant here covers it. This grant was one of the first parts of our stimulus. Was one of the first parts of the COVID stimulus stuff. So it's a different stimulus outside of the CARES Act, but it's similar. So this that 12,000.
So the grant money will pay for this. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. That's what we were requesting to use that first stimulus for. Correct.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we accept the $10,930 as a grant.
And authorize the purchase of those items.
Absolutely.
Fire Brewer, second.
We've got a motion and we've got a second. Any discussion? If not, call the roll, please.
For Mike Whitney,
Yes.
for Beaverson,
Yes.
for Riley,
Yes.
for Travis,
Yes.
for Jerry Moody,
Yes.
for Brewer.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thanks, Chris. Next up, personnel. The first item we've already discussed, Jan Keeney. We're going to take some action on that based on our previous motion and discussion. Also, the employee that we had that you'd authorized me to go ahead and put on board subject to background check and drug screen did not pass the background check. We had some issues with that. However,
what position was that?
That was for custodian.
Okay.
Okay. So I have gotten other applications, and actually, this may actually there's I guess pluses and minuses, but what we had approved before was a full-time position that involved benefits and that. My recommendation now since he did not make the cut is to hire Shannon McCauley as a part-time custodian. And let me tell you a little bit about her. In fact, I think Squire Beaverson, you may know her.
I do.
She does drive a school bus for the schools. She feels like part-time would work good for her. And further discussion with her and in talking with Becky Robinson, the circuit court clerk, I think the timing will work out. I think her school bus route is over with in the mornings by around 8:15. I think she said at the latest. We need somebody in the district court only 2 days a week, every other week for Judge Dutton's court. And so I think the goal too is to have someone cleaning the public restrooms in the courthouse several times a day. So my recommendation to you all would be to authorize me to go ahead and hire Shannon McCauley as a part-time custodian at a pay rate. I think we've established a minimum at $12.50 per hour. There will be no benefits. She's getting benefits through the school. And I'm also going to ask in the motion that we waive the background check and drug screen. And that would be because she is going to furnish the background check that she has to routinely do for the school system. And as a CDL driver, she is routinely subject to drug screen. So I don't think we have an issue there.
I'll make a motion to approve part-time hiring of Shannon McCauley at $12 an hour.
She's full-time at the school. We may still have to retirement.
Yeah, Beaverson second.
Okay, and Treasurer Doug Williams is here with me, and he did mention that if she is full-time at the school, we may also have to pay some retirement match. But that would be at the county rate, right? Yeah. So non-hazardous. So I'm sorry, the motion was made by
Squire Brewer.
Squire Brewer. And I believe Squire Beaverson seconded that.
Correct.
Does your motion include waiving the?
It does.
Okay, good. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, call the roll, please.
Squire Beaverson,
Yes.
Keith Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer,
Yes.
Squire Mike Moody.
No.
Okay, next up would be ordinance number 1, fiscal year 2021. This is a first reading, and it is in regard to Martin Lane and a speed limit change from 35 to 25.
Where is Martin Lane?
That's in Jerry Moody's district.
It's off 55, just past Green Lane.
Is that a dead end road?
This is Sheriff Herndon. If I could speak on that for a minute.
Go ahead.
I had a gentleman come in my office extremely upset because he'd been run off the road back there. It is a dead end road. It dead ends at the Hattiesville Wildlife Management area. And I did call Squire Jerry Moody and told him the situation and recommended that we get some speed limit signs out there to at least try to help that situation. So that's what kind of spawned that to happen. It is a road right past the second church in Wakefield as you're going towards Boonfield.
Right, yeah, I got you.
Okay.
It's a very, very narrow road, and it's very dippy.
Yep, yep.
Squire Jerry Moody, I'm thinking I'm hearing you making a motion. I'm not sure.
Now, Judge, but I'm making a motion for this ordinance to take place.
Okay, this to approve the first reading, and we'll have to schedule it for a second reading. So
Travis seconds that.
okay. All right, we've got a motion and we've got a second. Call the roll, please.
Keith Riley,
Yes.
Squire Travis,
Yes.
Squire Jerry Moody,
Yes.
Squire Brewer, Squire Brewer,
Sorry. Yes. I muted myself. Sorry.
Sorry.
Squire Mike Moody,
Yes.
Squire Beaverson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I said yes 3 times. You just didn't hear.
That reminds me of a good one, Squire Brewer. I'll tell you later. Next up is County Clerk, and she wants to talk about fee pooling.
The reason I'm talking or I'd like to talk to you about fee pooling tonight, is I think we need to revisit why I first agreed to fee pool and where we're at right now. I agreed to fee pool when I first was appointed to office December 1st, 2011, and I did that because of the problems this office was having with the previous clerk. In fact, the practices that were going on in this office were so bad that her 2010 audit said that it was going to be turned over to the Attorney General's office, to the Kentucky State Police, the Department of Revenue, and the IRS because of the findings. So basically, there were a lot of problems with this office. So the previous judge asked me if I would be willing to fee pool. At that time, I said yes, and I did that because I wanted to assure the taxpayers that this office would be run with integrity and be beyond reproach, and it has been. We've had nothing but good audits since that time. When I agreed to fee pool, that was based on having a relationship with the judge that was mutually respectful, and he was cognizant and discussed the needs of my office, and my needs were taken seriously, and the budget items that I requested were discussed. We made compromises, and they were included in the budget that was approved by fiscal court. That relationship has changed, and the reason I would like to cease fee pooling is because of a couple things. I'm a constitutionally elected officer. I'm elected by the people of this county to run my office. I am subject to 2 audits every year, a motor vehicle audit, as I mentioned earlier. All my audits have been positive. I've had no findings that have needed any correction. By virtue of the law, I have to turn over any excess fees to the county. You can call them excess fees, you can call them profit, you can call them whatever you want to call them. They're excess fees. It's money and funds over and above what my office brings in than it costs to operate my office. I will be able to operate easily off the fees that my office brings in. By virtue of the law, the court still will have to set the maximum limit for my salary cap, for my deputy salaries and their benefit. I don't think fiscal court actually has a knowledge of everything that happens in my office, and therefore I really don't know that you know what my needs are for this office. I'm not saying it's a good thing, bad thing, I'm saying it's the way it is. I am bonded to operate independently, and I'll still be subject to audits no matter what, even if it's from fee pooling. I received the profit loss report from the treasurer on Friday. We're well into halfway into the year, and I am only at 30% of my salary cap. And also it is showing almost $253,000 profit. So for that reason, I would like to request that not as of right now, but starting December 1st, or I'm sorry, January 1st, 2021, that the fee pooling arrangement between myself and Spencer County Fiscal Court be ended. And again, I will still turn over the normal monthly disbursements that I do to fiscal court, as I do to every taxing district. And then in March, I will have a final settlement, and any excess fees will be turned over at that time.
Lynn, can you get us any kind of paperwork that would show exactly what you would be responsible for, and what fiscal court would be responsible for your office?
Okay, right now, everything's being done in my office except purchase orders and payment of bills and payroll. Several of the county clerks that I've talked to said that their fiscal court or the treasurer, because they have the payroll programs, have continued to do payroll. The county judge's office just got a $40,000 payroll program, software program last year. So If they think doing the payroll would be too cumbersome for them, I can do that. I will most likely have to hire somebody to do that, and that would be an expense. And, you know, it probably shouldn't have to happen. But right now, I can do, the only thing fiscal court is doing for me is purchase orders and payroll. I'm doing daily reports, weekly reports, monthly reports, quarterly reports. That will not stop. I am bound by audit and by just the nature of my office. I am bound to continue to report those things to the and the auditor's office.
Can you get us a list of that information, everything that your office would be paying for and everything that fiscal court would be paying for?
As far as paying for?
Well, yeah, computers, postage, telephones, internet, everything that, you know, that is being paid for out of your office or out of fiscal court.
Okay. The only thing that fiscal court is bound by law to pay for are election expenses. Everything else would be paid for by my office.
Can you get us a list?
Of course.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions or comments?
And what other counties are doing this?
Are not fee pooling or fee pooling? I'm sorry, Brett.
Sorry, my phone rang.
What was your question? I'm sorry.
What other counties are not doing fee pooling that are nearby?
Shelby County, Oldham County, Bullitt County, Anderson County, Nelson County, Henry County, Trimble County, just about every county. There's more counties that do not, or there's more counties that fee, there's more counties that do not fee pool than do fee pool.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yeah, this is Sheriff Herndon. We fee pool also, of course. With her maybe doing that, does that change what I have to do, or is that independent and we can still do our separate ways or do it both ways?
Good question. The fee pooling arrangement is created by ordinance. So anything to change that would have to also, of course, be done by ordinance. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, it can be one office we fee pool with, the other not, or what have you. So, but it would have to be done by ordinance.
Well, this is Jim. I think we've just got the first bit of information tonight, and we're not going to be able to make a decision on it tonight. So it's not till the end of the year anyway. And I think as our meetings continue, we gather more information and discuss it down the road.
That sound reasonable to everybody?
Does to me.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Lynn?
Well, I'd just like to say that if I bring the information that the court is seeking, I would like to move forward with having that ordinance rescinded or rewritten as soon as possible so I can start doing the research that's going to be necessary to move to a non-fee pooling county. I don't want to wait until the end of the year and then have a decision made and I'm not prepared to move forward. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
I would just like to mention, and I know you mentioned that we had just purchased a $40,000 payroll program. That was a whole suite of programs, including our financial accounting program. So that's not all just payroll. But anyway, if there's no other questions, we're going to move on. We've got the treasurer, and by the way, please make note that the treasurer is here with me as he has been on other Zoom meetings. So I just want that to reflect in the minutes that the treasurer is here. in my office, and he has prepared the quarterly report. It's in your packet. If you need any additional information or have any questions, of course, as always, please just let us know or let Doug know, and we'll help you however we can. With that, we're going to move on to review and approval of expenditures, purchases, invoices, and transfers.
Judge, I do have something else before we get to that, if I could. Okay. I have asked you before, and you are not in favor of this, but I would like to see, and I want all the court members to hear what I have to say. I would like to see each department head with the fiscal court on the first Monday of the month at 9 o'clock. They will all be on. There's no overtime involved, to give us a report of what they have done in the past month or 2 months and what they predict they're going to do in the following month. And that's probably a decision that you will have to make. And I don't want to make a motion that we do that, but I would like you to consider that.
Okay. Anything else? Next up is review and approval of expenditures, purchases, invoices, and transfers. Anybody want to make a motion?
Or I'll make a motion that we pay the invoices and any transfers necessary.
All right. We've got a motion. I think your motion probably is to approve the transfers as we presented them, not any, as opposed to any transfer that's necessary. That's
in our packet.
Yeah, that's in your packet. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't want you to leave it too open-ended there. So
thanks for looking out for me.
So we got a motion. Anybody like to second the motion?
Second.
Who seconded that? Did somebody second?
Mike Moody.
Okay, Mike Moody seconded that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, we've got a motion and we've got a second. Any questions, comments, or concerns? If not, call the roll, please.
For Travis,
Yes.
for Jerry Moody,
Yes.
for Brewer,
Yes.
for Mike Moody,
Yes.
for Beaverson,
Yes.
Rich Riley,
Yes.
motion carries.
Okay, before we adjourn, I just want to say that
Before, I'd like to say something.
Okay, hang on just a second, Jerry. I'll recognize you here in just a second, if you don't mind. I've been, as you all know, forwarding out the press releases coming from the health district, and you can clearly see that there is an uptick in coronavirus cases. So I want everyone to obviously use as much caution as possible. We have, and we don't know what is corona. I'm not going to even suggest that it is corona, but normally Brittany would be handling this meeting, and she was out today, and I'm anxious to hear how she's doing here in the next few days. I did struggle through and I was able to pull this meeting off, so I'm not completely useless. It's my first Zoom meeting that I've hosted and done, so with Brittany's help, I was able to accomplish that. With that, I'm going to recognize Jerry Moody.
Previous, before this virus hit, each committee was listed on your sheet, and you would go down through there and ask if they had any questions or anything, what was going on. On the equipment committee, it has never been on there for some time. Just for everybody's information, the Dodge truck that had a a cam go out. The bill was going to be $4,500, and it got anyway. It turned out to be $3,800, and that truck is ready and has been picked up, and it's going to go to Randy, is what we decided, and everyone was happy. Randy's happy. The sheriff did not want that truck back. Period. We need permission to take that truck to Lawrenceburg and have the stripings taken off of it. It'll be $150 because it'd be quite some time before Gary can do that.
Hang on, Jerry. Hang on just a second, right there. Unless there's any objection, I don't need a motion to go ahead and authorize that to be done. Is there any objection to having that done down in Lawrenceburg for $150? If not,
no.
We'll take care of it. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay. The other thing is on Melvin, was hit something and damage to it, and we're still waiting on the insurance company. I've never seen an insurance company that is as slow as what we've got. And I think on our liability insurance, I think we need to start looking at another. This is ridiculous, but something has been hit, and Melvin stated at one time maybe he thought he hit a coon or something. Anyway, it cracked the transfer case. And it's just been a hold up. The other thing is on the old Ford truck that Randy had. It's supposed to have gone to a Ford dealer for the transmission to be and the computer to be flashed today. Whether that has taken place, I do not know. But I will know by the next meeting. And that's pretty well what's going on in the equipment.
Okay, appreciate that, Jerry. And just for everybody's benefit, and Jerry, since you mentioned it, anytime anybody would like something on the agenda, all you got to do is ask, and I'll be able to do that. We're trying to shorten the meetings up. They got extremely long. So, and I've already said several times my reason for having those committee reports on our agenda. So don't ever hesitate, Jerry, if you want to put that on there, or I can just leave it on there as a standing.
Judge, this is Jim. I think we agreed you should put all those committee standings on there, and if there's anything to discuss, we'll discuss it. If not, we'll pass it back.
Okay. I'll go back.
Judge, if you want to shorten the meeting, more pay raises.
I'm sorry?
If you want to shorten the meetings, don't pay more pay raises.
Okay. All right. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
We've got a motion.
I second that.
We've got a second. Who seconded that? Was that Jim Trevor? Okay.
Jim.
All right. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. We are now adjourned. Thank you all.
See you guys. Oh.
Leave. How do I leave? End the meeting.
Now, West.